We're gonna keep it going as I'm gonna go back and just keep moving and going with the flow of the spirit, through the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shy. All right. As we said, hey, time is coming where this end of an era is coming to an end. Like I say, you have this new age now that we're currently in, that we're seeing the collapse of the monetary system, the collapse of Babylon the Great is at hand. All right. Now, like you said, we're starting to see what Russia getting into, like I say, through Ukraine, and what have America been doing, providing money to Ukraine, also providing different things to keep Ukraine kind of afloat. But we know that things are breaking down over there. Russia is basically in control of that war that's going on, and ultimately, like you said, now. It was the article that brother posted that 300,000 troops from NATO is basically getting geared up. So we're close to all this manifesting. The Karagma, World War III, all right? And this ultimately is bringing forth what? The day of the Lord, which is going to be darkness and not light. So the end is manifesting. We've been out here preaching this and letting you know, like I say, starting from our apostles on down. And this is what we read in the scripture. Now, when you go into Revelations, what did that go into reveal? And we've been seeing the revealing of what's to come. All right. I'm going to read Revelations 17. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "And there came one of the seven angels, all right, which had seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither." Now, I'm going to stop right there and say, like you said, the seventh angel, which had the seventh vial. And what do seven go into? Completion. This is the completion of the manifestation of what? The end of this era, the end of this time. And we know what's coming after the end of this era. The kingdom of heaven, what's going to be a era that's going to reign forever and ever. It says, "Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." And that great whore, like you said, it's not just a regular whore, it's a great whore. All right. And that's going into what? Babylon the Great, aka America. All right. Like when you go into Isaiah 47 and start at the first verse, it says, "Come and sit in the dust, all right, O virgin daughter of Babylon, there is no throne." That's being that throne being snatched away from this great whore. All right. And it says the great whore to sit upon many waters. Now, when you go into Revelation 17 and 15, it says, "And he saith unto me, the waters," okay, this is letting you know what the waters going into. "The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth," okay, "are people and multitudes and nations and tongues." All right. So these are people, multitude, nations, and tongues that basically going into, this is what Babylon the Great is over. All right. And that's why you got what? NATO. And who is the head of NATO? Might well say NATO and the EU is America. Okay. Babylon the Great, that great whore that sitteth upon many nations, multitudes, people, and tongues. And he says, verse 2, "With whom the kings of this earth has committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." So these kings of the earth has basically took on these basically philosophies and ways, because that's the wine. That's the wine going into those philosophies. All right. And as it says in Jeremiah 51 around the 7th verse, all right, these nations are drunk with that wine. Now, for the nations are now mad. And I might go ahead and get that. But like I say, they have basically lived deliciously through Babylon the Great. This whore, okay, that sit upon many waters. That, like you say, when it said, "With whom the kings have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication," all this is coming to an end. Because the these these nations are becoming mad, and they're coming to a point where they realize, hey, this whore that we've been dealing with all this time, she's not a virgin daughter of Babylon, as it says in Isaiah 47. She's not a virgin. She's a true whore. And this is the revealing. Going back into Revelations mean to what? Reveal. This is Jeremiah 51 verse 7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. And who is the Lord in all captives? Yahweh. And made all the earth drunken. And the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, so she may be healed. Now, one thing that they gonna be trying to heal is Babylon, because even though the other nations, like I said, the kings of the earth are drunken off this Babylon juice. All right, this wine, their philosophy, the Western ways, they are gonna lose their benefits. I mean, these nations been living deliciously off Babylon. But like I said, now they took in too much of this Western philosophy, and they have been drunken and made mad. All right, but they're still gonna howl for how they used to live. You know how you used to live. So if you were living good, and then things ain't like what they used to be, you're like, man, start reminiscing. Yeah, this is it. It says, all right, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone, into his own country. All right. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up to the skies. All right. And is lifted up to the skies. So judgment has reached out to the heavens. So the other nations have been mad, but they still are mourning, and they'll weep for Babylon because they remember how deliciously they used to live. But Babylon is going to be destroyed, and that is going into AKA America. All right? And we see that's manifesting. As we just read, the end is manifest, right? We just read that in 2nd Ezra 9, around the fifth verse. All right? That's why the Lord, I'm going to jump into Revelation 18 and verse 3. It says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings, like we just read in Revelation 17, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. So they took that philosophy in and have basically committed the same same foul things that with her. It's going into what? NATO. That's why we just said they rounded up troops to get prepared for what? World War III. Because who's the head of NATO? America. Babylon the Great. All right. And it says, all the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And you've seen that. All right. Look at Ishmael. Look at all these other nations. When they come over here, they live deliciously. They make all their money. That's why they're going to flee back to the other country. We have made our money. And now we see this place starting to fall. So we're going to go back. All right. And we supposed to be getting prepared to be delivered up out of here through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This is verse 4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come up out of her, my people. All right. And these are when the chariot is going to come. And then when, like I say, doing the thermonuclear destruction, the Lord is going to deliver us out of this madness. Okay. This destruction that's coming upon this place. And I'm talking about mainly the elect. When you look into Isaiah, I think 26, around the 21st, Wisdom of Solomon 5, it goes into how basically we're going to be delivered by those chariots. Like it's in the Micah 2 and 10, we're supposed to get out of these ways of Babylon and come up out of the ways and spiritually to receive this right here that we're reading on in Revelation 18 and 4. Come up out of her physically. All right. It says, come up out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. All right. And that ye receive not of her plagues. Because one thing was coming to them plagues. Them plagues are that nuclear destruction. All right. So we supposed to come up out of her physically, I mean spiritually, and then come up out of her mentally. I mean not mentally, but come up out of her physically. And I can get that to that point. This is Revelation 11, verse 12. It says, "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud." All right. So those this is the elect getting ascended up in what? Those chariots. That thing like we just read in Revelation 18 and 4. It says, "And they ascended up in the cloud, and their enemies beheld them." All right. So they saw that. So this is what's coming, right? Verse 13. In the same hour, all right, the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant was afraid and gave glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua of heaven, the power of heaven. All right. And like you say, this is this we get to a point where we're gonna see the deliverance. You know, Lord willing, we'll be a part of that. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. Lord willing, I am doing the work and speaking for the. I want to see all the brothers that I know is in this truth to be delivered. Lord willing, we are those men. All right. When we're gonna see the deliverance of the elect, we'll probably, Lord willing, we will be in there seeing one another and seeing Babylon being destroyed as we're being beamed up into the clouds to the chariots. This is the end. The prophecy is spoken. The end of an era is here. All right. And what does it say? In what is that? Is that Sirach 10 and 8, where it says one kingdom is going to be brought down to another kingdom. I might as well get it, and then I'll go ahead and end it off with that. This is slide again. This is Second Ezra's. Hold on, let me find it here. I think it's Sirach. This is Sirach 10, all right? You get to the point. I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, "Pride is hateful before Yahweh Shai man, and by both do one commit iniquity." Pride is hateful, and this is the most proudest place on earth here, Babylon the Great. Like it says, who will bring me down? Okay? And like we said, and we read earlier, their sins have reached up to the heaven, and the Lord is they're gonna be brought down through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai. It says, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." And who the earth is gonna be translated to now? It's gonna be translated to, well, like you say, to what? The who the Lord got the covenant with, starting with Yahweh Shai, our big brother. Okay, who said he's gonna come and even gonna get the ones that pierced him, knowing, also telling you about reincarnation. So wanted to give that out. Lord willing, this was edifying. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Waha, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the great millstone. Peace and blessings to Yaki and pushing his word, the truth and sincerity. Shalom.